Hello and welcome back to DevOps Fundamentals by SkillSpeed. In the previous video, we have installed a Git server for ourselves and we have done the basic configuration. In this video, we will continue our journey and we will see how to work with Git, how to create a new repository and things like that. So we will see how to create a new repository first of all, and how to add content inside, and how to commit changes and do some basic operations in Git. Then we will see how to check the status of the current repository in which we are in, how to check the logs, and then we will try to understand a concept called git ignore, what exactly it is and how does it work. This will be primarily a hands-on demo session, so let's get started. So here I am on this machine in which we have installed Git software, and if I use which Git, it tells me the location of the Git executable, and if I use Git version, it tells me which version of Git I am currently on. So in order to work with Git now, what I need to do is first of all, I need to create a repository folder for myself. So I'm going to create a new Git repos folder in which I'm going to place all my repositories. As of now, it's completely empty. So let's say I create a folder by this name, and I go inside this folder. So at the moment, this folder is completely empty. It's just like any other folder. In order to create a new repository, I need to use this command called git init, which stands for initialize. So basically, I'm initializing a new Git repository here. Now I get this message that initialized empty Git repository in so and so folder. It gives me the complete folder location. And if I use this command once again to check the content of my folder, I will see a new .git folder has been created for me. Now if I want to see the content, I need to go inside, and if I do a ll, I can see a couple of things already created for me, and there are specific uses for each one of these files and folders, which we will take a look at during our Git journey. But for now, if we go inside this objects folder, I can see this two files, and go back if I so let me quickly do the installation for tree package, because this is what we are going to use very often. It should not take more than a couple of seconds. In fact, it is done already. So if I use tree command now, I can get the information on the content of this .git folder. And as you can see, as of now, there is nothing in objects, and even refs, we don't have much information. Only hooks has got a couple of sample files which we can utilize for our various kinds of triggers which we need to use in Git. So now we have an empty Git repository. We come back to the main folder, which is a skillspeed-repo, which is known as the working directory in Git. It's the same directory in which you have .git folder available, and it's the same folder where you have initialized a Git repository with the help of git init command. Now what we will do is we'll create a couple of files here to see the simulation, how exactly it works. So let's create these two files, and if I use git status command, it will tell me that it has got two untracked files. So just placing the files inside the Git repository is not enough. I have to tell Git that these are the files I want you to track. For that, the command is git add. Now I can use a star or I can use a dot. So dot basically indicates is the current folder, and all the subfolders have to be tracked. All the files inside the subfolders as well. If I do that, now if I use get status again, it tells me no untracked files, however the changes are to be committed. So what I need to do now is I need to use git commit -am. Now M stands for if I don't use this -m switch, it will take me to the text editor where I have to put the commit message. Instead, what I can do is I can give the commit message right here on the command line. Let's say I'll type this as first commit by Mr. Green, let's say. So it gives me a confirmation message that it has done some changes, some files have been copied, and if I do a git status again, it tells me that I am currently on master branch and nothing to commit. Working directly is clean. Next, what I will do is I'll make a couple of changes. So what we can do is I can do an echo, and let's say let's append this content in test1. Okay, and if I do git status again, Git is smart enough to understand that I have made some changes on this test1 file, and which has to be committed, which is yet to be committed. So what I need to do now is I just need to do the commit again. Let's say I can give any commit message I like, but it has to be something meaningful, which is a best practice by which is recommended by Git experts. So if I do git status again, as you can see, it tells me that I have nothing to commit again, and I'm currently on master branch. Now all these changes which I have done in the past, I can see at one go with the help of a command called git log. So as you can see here, it gives me the commit message, it gives me the timestamp, and it gives me the author details as well, right? And if you see here, it shows me the details or the log outputs in reverse chronological order. So now what we have seen is how to work locally, how to create files. So this same way you can actually create multiple files, and you can keep on working inside your Git repository. You can put n number of files here, you can even copy paste files here, and you can do any kind of development activity which you want to do. Now one more important concept to understand is we have seen this command called git add dot. Now this command will actually add or track all the files inside this folder which is available, which is there at the moment, and we don't have any control over it, right? What if and again, the problem is that when we talk about the actual development environment, we will have thousands of files which we will be working with, and let's say I don't want to track a specific type of files, or one specific file I don't want to track. Okay, so let's say, for example, I don't want to track any log files, any files with ending with .log. Okay, let's see how we can do that. So what I will do is, what I need to do, in fact, I need to go to git and info. So if you see here, I'm back on my .git folder, and I need to go inside this info folder. So I to go to info, and if you see here, I have this file called exclude. So if I cat this file, you will see that all the contents are commented out here. What I need to do, I need to make some changes in this file. What I need to do is, I'll come back, cancel, So I am here on my info folder, and if I do ll, I can see this exclude. What I need to do now is I need to make some changes to this file. So what I will do is I'll simply add star.log at the end. So whatever I mention in this file will be excluded from git add command. So I can use a wildcard, or I can use a specific file name, and it will not be monitored. So I'll simply use star.log, and then I will save the changes. And if I check the content again, as you can see, star.log has been added at the bottom. So now what I need to do is I'll come back to the main working directory, and currently I have test1.txt and test2.txt. So let me just remove this file. What I will do is I'll create two different files. So this time I'll do touch ignore.txt, and another file I'll give the extension as .log. Now remember, .log is the one which I want to be excluded. Now if I check the git status, if you see here, I have created two new files, but it is showing only one because I have told git to ignore .log files. That is the reason it is not showing this file anymore. So if I go ahead and do git add dot and make the changes, and if I do a git commit, let's say it is telling me that only one file has been changed. So that's how you ignore a file in Git. So that's it for the demo purpose on how to work locally in Git, how to create a repository, and how to do some basic operations in Git, and how to ignore a file in Git. This is a typical life cycle of a Git file. You create a file, and then you add that file from the untracked to tracked, and then you modify, you stage it, you commit it, and then you can remove the file as well. So in the process of learning all these things, we have learned a couple of new commands in Git. So we saw about git init, git add, git commit with -m, git status, git log, and finally git ignore. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.